Hey y'all, it's Ash. So after my video on why I regret becoming an attorney, I started thinking about my law school experience and I started kind of talking about it with my husband. And he was like, yeah, remember how you were so stressed about good grades and doing this and that. And then you ended up just starting your own law firm and not really practicing law or really doing anything. Not that I'm not practicing law, but not really working a lot or anything or trying to get a job elsewhere. So I really didn't need those grades or that extracurricular stuff, that I did. So I started thinking about that and I wanted to kind of give some advice to anybody who may be thinking about law school, starting law school, in law school, whatever. So first of all, if you watch that Why I Regret Becoming an Attorney video, you know that I wanted to work in the government and then that didn't work out for me because the government kind of flipped on its head and the job that I wanted disappeared. So my dream job just kind of went down the toilet, right? So I didn't have, any job that I wanted after law school. I did apply to that job and then I got an email saying this job no longer exists after a month or two, I think. So that was unfortunate. And then I didn't really have a backup. So my first piece of advice is to have a job in mind, like a specific job, whether that's working for a specific firm, working for the government. I'm trying to think of something else, working for maybe even like state government, if you want to work as a prosecutor or something like that. Just any job that an attorney would do, make sure you have one in mind and also have at least one backup, if not multiple. My problem was I didn't have a backup. I kind of did in a way, but it wasn't, it's more so, it's like in the works. Like, I guess I can say it because I'm doing it now, but I wanted to work as general counsel for a startup company that was kind of in the beginning stages. And I knew I wouldn't be making a lot of money from it. So it was like, oh, I'm going to work for the government and then do this on the side. And then eventually when it starts to make more money, then I can quit my government job and just work for this company. So I kind of did have a backup, but it's because I didn't do government first. I'm kind of, not making a lot of money with that startup. It's still in the beginning phases. So I'm in the beginning phases salary, right? So definitely have multiple careers that you want to pursue. Definitely have a number one in mind. I also had another backup. I had a firm I wanted to work for and they ended up they basically were like, yeah, we'll be hiring when you get licensed, like no problem, we'll definitely hire you. And then I got licensed and they're like, actually, no, we're not hiring. So definitely have multiple backups. The second thing I want to talk about is just don't worry too much about grades. Obviously try your best, but don't drive yourself crazy. And I'm really glad that the summer that I met my husband and the summer that we got engaged, that I kind of chilled and I ended up getting 3 C's total in law school. And the C's that I got were the summer I met him and the summer that we got engaged. And I'm really glad that I prioritized my personal life over grades, which is something I never thought I'd say. But, at the end of the day, it was so much more worth it to prioritize my relationship with my now husband over grades that ended up not mattering. And I don't think they would have mattered had I tried to get a job in another law firm or, if I would have been able to get that job in the government or whatever. In the grand scheme of things, they don't really matter. Even Cali Awards, I was trying to get Cali Awards for certain classes and I got some, but at the end of the day, again, it doesn't matter. So yeah, don't focus too much on grades. Do your best. Try not to fail, but at the end of the day, they really don't matter in terms of the job market, unless, you have some big law firm in mind that you want to work for and they have a minimum GPA or something like that. Just don't worry too much about it. Also, I would say don't worry too much about extracurriculars unless you, again, have a goal in mind. I did every extracurricular, every clinic, I did law review. I did all the volunteer work at law school, like any opportunity that came up. I was trying to be a dean's fellow even though I didn't want to be. And I think you could tell, which is why I didn't get it. So I basically just threw everything at the wall and tried to see what stuck. And anything that did stick, I would do. So I did, an immigration clinic. I have no desire to go into immigration. Not that I dislike it or anything. I thought it was really interesting, but at the same time, it's just not something I'm passionate about, personally. And then also I did a criminal law clinic. Again, very interesting to me, just not passionate about it. Will probably never practice criminal law or immigration law. If I do, something has changed, but I've never ever been somebody that wanted to practice either of those types of law. And yet I did those things. And, I did trial practice stuff. I did, like mock trials and stuff. And I had no desire to be in litigation, to do litigation. I still don't have any desire to do litigation. I avoid it at all costs. So I basically, I just did everything, even if it wasn't, consistent with my desired career path or what kind of law I wanted to practice. And I think I wasted a lot of time and energy doing stuff like that, when I could have done something better with my time. I just enjoyed life even. And there are certain things that you have to do. Obviously, you have to do like an externship to graduate and stuff like that. And there are things that you can do. I wanted to work for the USPTO after law school, so I did do an externship with them as well. And had I been able to work with the USPTO, it would have been worth it, but it didn't happen. So just try to focus your extracurricular activities on what you actually want to do instead of just doing everything, because you're just going to waste time essentially. And then, like I talked about in my video, I got to the end of law school, ended up getting married to someone who made enough money to, support us and give us our dream life without me ever having to work. And we decided that I was going to be a stay-at-home wife, mom, whatever. We had a foster baby at the time, and when we got married, and then we decided that we were going to get pregnant, a few months after. And we got pregnant very, very quickly. So, I've just been, focusing on being a wife and a mother. And we also have, our little farm that we're working on that I'm pretty much solely responsible for. So we're essentially just, I'm stay-at-home mom, and we're saving on daycare instead of me going out and working and sending our kids to daycare or whatever, getting pet sitters and whatnot. So in the grand scheme of things for me, I obviously didn't know any of that was going to happen. I didn't know I was going to marry him as soon as I met him, but I thought we were going to wait several years to have kids. Never thought we were going to foster. I didn't even know if I could get pregnant. And then I got pregnant right away. So, didn't expect that. Didn't expect to start a farm, less than a year into our marriage. So I couldn't really plan for that, but just think about okay, if I had the lifestyle that, I have, think about it for you, obviously, if you had my life, if you ended up being out of law school and you were with someone, or you came into money, whatever it is, and you didn't have to work, or you didn't work, or something happened where you couldn't work, would you regret doing this opportunity, or would you have wished that you had done it because it could help a potential career? Basically just weigh it and just say, how worth it is it for me, right? Because I think the immigration law clinic and the criminal law clinic and the mock trials and blah, 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 as fun as they were, it wasn't worth it. I think law review was worth it because even though it sucked, I got to research and write about a really interesting topic, and I got, credits for that. I got 2 credits for law review. So that helped me graduate earlier. So that was worth it. But again, just really weigh it, really think about it, and don't do everything, because you're just going to waste time and you're going to regret it. But long story short, don't go too crazy in law school. kind of think about what am I going to regret doing? What am I going to regret not doing? And sometimes, you know, prioritizing other things over your education is okay, which again, I never thought I would say. And I was very much raised somewhere where academics and intelligence are very important, but not the most important thing, you know? So, but I still was total overachiever. Not to the extent I could have been. I could have been much crazier and gotten much better grades and done much more, but I like deep down didn't want to, so I didn't. And I'm glad that I sacrificed some grades and some extracurriculars to, you know, focus on my faith, to be with my family, to, you know, develop a relationship with my now husband. All these other things that I did, you know, I don't regret it for a second. And I just want to make sure that other law students know, you know, grades and extracurriculars are not the most important thing. There's more to life than that. And I know people say that all the time. And I heard that in law school and I didn't listen. But just please consider what I have said, because I didn't listen and I wish I would have a little bit. Or I wish I would have listened earlier, I guess. But that is all I have. So thank you all for watching. Bye.